Alright, guys, this is part two. I'll talk for maybe a good 15 minutes. This will be a 45-minute video here. I'll read one more article here. I can read one or two more articles here. That way I make a nice 45, 50-minute video. There's another article by comingsoon.net. So I'm going to briefly talk about the last article. Look, man, to all you natives out there, if you think who think James Cameron is supposedly racist, if you think his movie was misrepresentative of the native culture, please keep in mind that Avatar is a fantasy movie. It's a movie. It's a fantasy movie. It's make believe. James Cameron is just doing whatever he can to entertain his fans. It doesn't have to be accurate with history and native culture. And if it offends you and you think it's racist, obviously, by the Navi being blue and all stuff, then don't watch the movie. But don't try and boycott the movie and get other fans to boycott the movie and ruin the experience for the fans and have the movie be a failure. No. If you don't like the movie, don't watch it. That's my advice. If you don't want to see the movie, don't watch it. Just like for all you fans out there, if there's something in Zayn that offends you, obviously, you know what I'm saying? There's some Christians who might be a bit offended by Zayn because you have some biblical themes in there. If it offends you, then don't watch the movie, which you will, obviously. If you don't want to watch the movie, don't watch it. I'm not forcing you to watch the movie. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. If the movie doesn't, if you don't like the movie, it's your opinion. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. That's all I'm gonna say. So this is an article by the comingsoon.net. And it's called Why Avatar: The Way of the Water is Connecting with Audiences. It was published today, obviously, by Jeff Ames. Avatar: The Way of the Water is an enormous success, both critically and commercially. Once again, James Cameron has demonstrated his incredible knack of crafting big-budget spectacles. Yes, like Titanic, Terminator 2. Terminator 2 was considered the most expensive movie ever made back in the 90s. It was made for $100 million, and that back then, that was considered like a really expensive movie. And now $100 million is a norm, obviously, right? And Avatar 1. Obviously. Once again, James Cameron has demonstrated his incredible knack for crafting big-budget spectacles that resonates with audiences. What's his secret? Why do people return to Pandora despite Avatar's empty runtime, lack of superstars, and simplistic narrative? I have some ideas, yes. I believe people see. I believe the main reason why people love Avatar is because of the spectacle, man. It's a beautiful, it's an incredibly beautifully made film. It's the most beautiful film ever made in what? Over the past couple decades. Some there. And remember how you said how Avatar does not have any superstars? Yes, because Avatar they pour most of the money towards special effects, and because they pour so much money towards special effects, they hire cheaper actors who don't cost much. Like all the actors who are in Avatar, they're not superstars. The only one who's like a superstar, who's like an A-list actor, is what? The only one who's like a big like star is that Zoe chick, whatever her name is, who was in Star Trek and Guardians of the Galaxy. She's like the only big star. Sam Worthington is an A-list actor, but he's a one-hit wonder kind of guy. He did Avatar, then he did Terminator Salvation, then he did Clash of Titans, obviously, Wrath of the Titans, and then after that he kind of fell off the map. Sam Worthington, right? And all the other actors are not A-list actors. Those guys are all like B-list actors. Zoe is the only like big star in Avatar. Everyone else are not superstars. And Avatar is not a complicated story to understand. It's a simple story. It's a simple story, but it's a simple story told in an extremely advanced, super beautiful world. That's why fans love the movie because James Cameron is a spectacle king, man. He knows how to build great spectacle, create great spectacle, and spectacle is what sells tickets. That's the cold hard truth, man. I made a video about this earlier. Spectacle is what sells tickets. Great stories can sell tickets too, obviously, but a lot of great stories or movies break even, they lose money. Yet the not so great stories with an amazing spectacle, the movies who make the money. The spectacle is what sells tickets. That's what gives you the nice theatrical experience, obviously. Spectacle is what sells the tickets. And that's why Avatar connects a lot with the audience, because it has a great spectacle, obviously. Some there. Astonishing visuals, like I said earlier, right? Luring people from their comfortable homes into a theater takes a lot. In this day and age of endless streaming content, it's easy and cheaper to kick back on the couch and enjoy the latest and greatest flick on expensive big screen 4K TV. especially when most people hit digital platforms a few weeks after release. Who would want to spend the time and energy to watch Babylon in theaters when you can stay home and check out the latest Knives Out movie? Yeah. See, Babylon, I believe Babylon looks like a movie that has a great story, yet the movie's flopping in theaters right now because it does not have the kind of spectacle that Avatar has. The Fablemans, I heard was a very, very good movie. Chances are that movie probably has a better story than Avatar, and yet Avatar is blowing the Fablemans out of the water. Why? Because spectacle is what sells tickets. Great stories can put butts in the seats, obviously, but what really puts butts in the seats is a spectacle. Great spectacle. At the end of the day, it comes down to the spectacle, but spectacle is what sells tickets. Great stories is what challenges the human condition. It challenges the human mind, the human spirit, the human soul. It challenges how you think. It stays with you till you die. Whereas great spectacle is what sells tickets, obviously. And that's the cold truth about Hollywood. Spectacle is what sells tickets. It's not the great. The great stories are. If you can have a great story and great spectacle, you can sell a lot of tickets, obviously. But that's rare these days. Most movies that have great spectacle, chances are their stories are mediocre, good stories, but they're not like great stories. Because a lot of the great stories these days are not really the big spectacle movies. You know what I'm saying? And yet the spectacle movies are making way more money. There's a reason why the Marvel movies are all making so much money, because those movies have high spectacle. Good stories, obviously, but the Marvel movies don't have the greatest stories. There's a lot of movies out there that have better stories than Marvel. Lord of the Rings is a better story than all the Marvel movies. Yeah, Marvel movies are doing more than what Lord of the Rings did. You see what I'm saying? The Star Wars originals have better stories than the Marvel movies, and yet the stars are, what? The Marvel movies did more in the box office than than the original Star Wars. The prequels made more money than the original Star Wars. Why? Because of spectacle. See what I'm saying? Spectacle is what sells tickets. Yeah, I'm guilty of this mentality. I ventured to theaters only a handful of times this year for the Batman, Doctor Strange, Top Gun, Jurassic World, Violent Night, and Downton Abbey. For The Wife, I swear that's it. I didn't even see Steven Spielberg's latest film until it hit Google Play over Christmas. Yet I happily shelled out the dough for Avatar: The Way of the Water. Why? Because it promised something bigger and bolder than I've ever seen. Yes, spectacle. Thankfully, James Cameron was true to his word. Avatar's second chapter is a spectacle. See what I'm saying? A spectacle of epic proportions that absolutely must be viewed on the largest screen imaginable. Yes. I'm going to quote what he said here. Thankfully, James Cameron was true to his word. Avatar's second chapter is a spectacle of epic proportions. And that's why Avatar is the biggest grossing movie of all time, because it has the highest spectacle ever in movie history, obviously. It is a spectacle of epic proportions. But yeah, just like Zanus. But Zanus will actually be a great story with great spectacle. It's very rare to find a movie that has a great story. It's very hard to find a movie that has a very, very great story and also great spectacle. Chances are you have the balance. You have the unbalance. Either the movie has very, very great spectacle, okay or good story, or the movie has an amazing great story, but the spectacle is not that great. That's how it works, man. It's very, very tough to have that full 50-50 balance, man. Chances are it's unbalanced. Either you have a great spectacle story with an okay story or a good story, but not a great story, or you have a great story or a very good story, but the spectacle is not that great. Like Shawshank Redemption. Great story, movie didn't make any money, didn't have great spectacle. Star Wars originals do not have great spectacle, but they're amazing stories. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, those are perfect examples. Lord of the Rings is a perfect example of that 50-50 balance. Lord of the Rings, you have high spectacle, but you also have a great story. That's the rare exception, obviously. The Matrix 1. The Matrix 1 had a great story. Obviously, but it did not have the great spectacle. And yet it made less than Matrix Reloaded. Reloaded did not have as good of a story, and it had higher spectacle. You see the pattern here? Matrix Reloaded was not as good of a movie. The story was not as Matrix Reloaded had an okay story, but it had high spectacle, and that's why it made $700 million. It made more than the first one. The first one had a much better, a great story, but it did not have high spectacle. Because it's very tough to have that 50-50 balance for movies. Chances are the movie has very, very high spectacle. Chances are the story is an okay to pretty good story. That's how it works. It's very rare to have that 50-50 balance where you have a great story and you have like great spectacle. I'm not, yes, if you have a movie that has great spectacle, the story could be good, but the chances are it's not a great story. It's a good or like pretty good story, but it's not great because the directors lean more into the spectacle, wowing the audience with the technology and giving them a good experience. Because that's how Hollywood works now. It's all about money. It's all about money now. Less on story, more about money now in Hollywood. Hollywood companies all want to make money. That's how the industry is right now in Hollywood. So repeat this again. Thankfully, James Cameron was true to his word. Avatar's second chapter is a spectacle of epic proportions, hence why it's doing so well in the box office. That absolutely must be viewed on the largest screen imaginable. Sure, it'll look great on my TV at home, but the larger-than-life set pieces, stunning visual effects, and incredible action are worth the increased price of admission to watch on IMAX or AMC's Dolby Cinema, or Cineplex. Like I'll watch at home, right? Watch in Canada, right? The scene in which the Resources Development Administration's whaling ship leaps over a group of rocks is one of the most incredible visuals I've ever witnessed. And the big finale when Jake and Quaritch engage in a knife fight aboard a sinking ship is one for the ages. Seriously, while the film was earning a lot of praise from critics and audience, I still don't think it's getting its just due. This is unbelievable stuff, people. In fact, I call it a once-in-a-lifetime cinematic experience, and Avatar 3 wasn't lingering right around the corner. Yes. And that's why Avatar is doing as good as it is. Because what? Because what? It has high spectacle, obviously. Many people feel the same way, which is why the picture quickly leaped to the top of the box office charts. Yes, because of the spectacle, obviously. Put it this way, I wanted Cameron to dip his toes in other properties before The Way of the Water. Now I cannot wait to see what other treats lay in store for us on Pandora. I hope Disney Star Wars is paying attention. This is what that galaxy far, far away should resemble. Also, as an aside, nearly every one of my screenings has just been jam-packed, and rarely does anyone ever get up for refreshments or a bathroom break. Yeah. So my guess is Avatar is so good, a lot of people are afraid to take bathroom breaks because they don't want to miss out on what happened in the movie, obviously. If I build that theory chain, a lot of fans are not going to want to take bathroom breaks, obviously. But if you get like a large drink, you're guaranteed some people are going to have to use the bathroom. You're going to miss out on some of what's going on. But I told you, chances are I will not be building the theory chain. It's a waste of money. I'm just going to release it on 4K Blu-ray on Amazon. So there. Yeah. Obviously. Right. Think about that for a second. Hundreds of people are watching a 3+ hour film and staying in their seats for the entire duration. That's incredible. Yes. Because Avatar is an amazing movie, obviously. Simplicity. Many people found fault in the original Avatar boring elements from an age-old story. Yeah, Avatar is a simple story. It's not a complex story. Like Pocahontas, Avatar is a similar story to Pocahontas. Pocahontas, you have the white man, obviously. That white man, they go to the native island to dig for gold, obviously. And he learned, you know what I'm saying, and they both have different ways of life, obviously. So you have some similarities to Pocahontas with Avatar, obviously, and Dances with Wolves. But I've always considered the film's simplicity its greatest strength. Most filmmakers don't want complicated; they want money. Yeah, that's what they want. Let me read this again. Most filmmakers don't want complicated. Yes, Hollywood these days do not want to make complicated movies. They just want to make money. Obviously. They want to tell good stories, but nowadays Hollywood does not really lean towards storytelling. They don't lean towards quality of storytelling. All they care about in Hollywood now is money. If the movie makes money, that's why they all lean towards spectacle. That's what sells tickets, obviously. When you look back at some of the all-time box office grossers, Star Wars, Jaws, Cameron's Titanic, Jurassic Park, Independence Day, or any of the Marvel films, many feature very simplistic plots. Boy teams up with a wizard to save a princess from the bad guys. A shark terrorizes a small island community. A boy and girl from different classes fall in love on a doomed Titanic. Dinosaurs run loose on the island. Aliens attack Earth. Earth fights back. Superheroes make jokes and fight. Insert villains of the week. Think about this. Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park is better than the new iteration of the Jurassic World, the new franchise, obviously. And yet the franchises of Jurassic World made more money than Steven Spielberg's original Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is a better story. Jurassic Park is a much better story than the new Jurassic World movies. But the World movies have higher spectacle. Hence why they made more money. You see what I'm saying here? You see the pattern here, yeah. There's a time and place for intricate storylines, but less is more when appealing to a general audience eager to kick back and have a good time. Still, you have to resonate on a deeper level with audiences. Visuals and spectacle alone will only carry a film part of the way. There has to be more, which brings us to likable characters. Avatar has likable characters. What Cameron does better than any other writer, director, or blockbuster variety is creates likable characters worth rooting for. While The Way of the Water doubles on plot points established by his predecessor and keeps his storyline simple, a simple story obviously, and relatively predictable, we all knew Natiam was a goner, right? The characters are infinitely more exciting and relatable on this go around. Who hasn't had to move to a different town, city, school, and start anew? What father hasn't struggled to protect his kids from outside dangers? What mother hasn't chastised her children from their mistakes? The characters of Avatar are giant blue aliens, but Cameron drops them inside reliable stories. Yeah, Avatar is a simple story that's about family. It's about the way of life of the Na'vi, their conflict with the humans. It's a good story, obviously. Sure, it's simple stuff, but part of the fun of a movie is finding a character with whom you can form a connection. As a dad, you can connect with Jake Sully, right? What he went through, right? As a dad, I appreciate Jake's plight with while my daughter latched on to Kiri. My youngest daughter to read. Younger audiences will likely dig Loak's relationship with Payakan, while older audiences will get a kick out of Natam's numerous efforts to protect his bro. So there's something for everyone to connect with on a personal level, which is one of the main reasons audience all ages keep going back into the cinemas to watch this thing. Because it's an amazing movie, it's an amazing spectacle, a high spectacle, obviously. The Way of the Water won't win any points for originality, aside from its lucious visuals. Still, much as Titanic and the original Avatar, the characters do enough to tunnel into the hearts and make us care when shit starts to go down. Almost done here, guys. This is a long article. Almost done here. I don't know if I'll do another article. I'm running out of time here. Cameron's films, a meaningful message. Cameron's films have always featured not so subtle politics. However, they are politics most will agree on. Few would oppose a message about cleaning our oceans or saving whales. Because James Cameron's like an environmentalist, right? He puts some of that in his Avatar movies. A safe, simple statement that doesn't rock the boat in either direction. Cameron cobbles together a message everyone can get behind, which is refreshing in our current political landscape. He also wags a finger at greedy Earthlings for trying to colonize Pandora, but at least gives them a reason for their actions. Earth fell into decay long ago, you see. Humans need another place to pitch their tent, and Pandora has everything they need. Cue the struggle. Cameron never justifies the RDA's actions, but it raises an interesting question for audience. Would you welcome an anti-aging potion even if it meant slaughtering alien whales on the moon millions of miles away? So James Cameron obviously put some of his environmentalist agenda into his movies, obviously, into his Avatar movies, as you can clearly see when you watch the Avatar and Avatar 2, obviously. Because James Cameron's like an environmentalist, right? He's into that stuff. Avatar is more intricate than many are willing to give it credit for. Its battles are more nuanced than good versus evil. The scene where a group of RD whalers hunts and kills a mother Tulkun and her calf hits hard enough to cause us to root against our species for the film's last hour, which is a difficult feat for any writer director to achieve successfully. Yet Quaritch's mission is to bring Jake to justice for his complicity in the deaths of hundreds of human soldiers. Cameron has already stated that he plans to show good human and bad Na'vi in Avatar 3. One can see how The Way of the Water perfectly sets up his idea. Hopefully the payoff is worth it. And I think it will be worth it. Finally, storytelling. We've done this article here. Another exciting thing about Cameron is the way he presents his stories. The Way of the Water's massive runtime flies by because he continually introduces a unique element every 30 minutes or so. Every time a plot point starts to linger a little too long, we move on to a new conflict that immediately grabs our attention. The film begins in the forest of Pandora, where we meet the Sullys, our new Quaritch, and witness a pair of spectacles. There's a bit of spoilers in this, right? Sets pieces. Just as the forest grows stale, Cameron relocates the entire story to the ocean village of the Metakiana clan, where the Sullys learn the way of the water, meet new friends, and engage in converse with the inhabitants. After studying at a fish for a while, Cameron introduces the Payakan and Loak storyline, which kicks the picture into an entirely new gear. Kiri's seizure unintentionally lures Quaritch to Jake's location, and a resident village begins burning nearby villages. When the villagers refuse to surrender Jake, Quaritch orders Arde to hunt and kill another Tulkan, and the captain draws enemy out. Naturally, Loak goes to help Payakan, who is marked for death, ushering in the exciting third act that finds unique ways to entertain despite lasting over 45 minutes. Is anyone else in Hollywood capable of structuring a 3+ hour film more expertly better than Cameron? He did the same with Titanic and Avatar, but the maestro outdoes himself here. From start to finish, The Way of the Water holds our attention, which is challenging in this day, an age of cell phones and endless entertainment. Even terrific films like The Batman Dune drag in certain parts. There are moments you just get through to get to the best bits. Every scene in Avatar is fantastic. The last time I felt this way about a film was Return of the King way back in 2003. Now I just talked myself into seeing it again. Yeah, Avatar is a kind of movie that has a lot of repeat viewing, a lot of word of mouth spread. That's why a lot of audience, they go back and they see the movie. It's a simple story with great spectacle that wows the audience imagination, and that's what puts butts in seats, obviously. Because think about this, guy said that Avatar is a simple story. Yeah, Avatar is not a complicated story to understand. It's a simple story, and yet the movie's grossing more money than The Fabelmans. It's grossing more money than all these amazing, great stories. Why? Because spectacle is what sells tickets. James Cameron is a spectacle king. He knows how to what? He knows how to just get butts in the theaters, man. He's a king of spectacle, James Cameron. He's a king director of the box office, and he's a king of spectacle. No one does spectacle better than James Cameron. You know what I'm saying? That's why his movies are all what? They're all part of the highest grossing movies of all time. Yeah. So I hope you guys know that article that I read. There is another one I can read here, but I mean, there's one that's Avatar cats went through hell to make Way of the Water. I don't think I'm gonna read. I'll read this one. I'll save this one for another day, guys. I'm not gonna read this one. I think I'm gonna end it here. I read a good 4 articles today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this Hollywood news video. Yeah, man. Like I said earlier, I think Avatar hitting $1.7 million is a huge success. I will not be shocked if Avatar hits $2 million. And if it does, it was obviously highly profitable. Obviously. I'm going back to the native article, the what? The article with that native guy who thought James Cameron was racist. If you think James Cameron disrespected you in any way and he was racist, then don't watch the movie. You're entitled to own your opinion, obviously, but don't try and ruin the experience for other fans and try and have other fans boycott the movie and have the movie fail and lose money. No. If you don't like the movie, don't watch it, but don't prevent other people from watching the movie just because you dislike the movie. That's my point, obviously. And Avatar is what? Avatar is what? Is a movie with high spectacle, hence why a lot of fans go to the theaters to watch it. Simple story with high spectacle, hence why a lot of fans go to the theaters and see it, obviously. And yet the Fabelmans did not do as much money as Avatar. But yeah, you can argue the Fabelmans is a better story than Avatar 2. You see what I'm saying? As Avatar 1 is not the greatest story. It's a good story. It's a pretty good story. The story is not great. Simple, pretty good story, but yet it has high spectacle and it's the highest grossing movie of all time because spectacle is what sells tickets. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the cold hard truth, man. Spectacle is what sells tickets. Great stories can help. Great stories can help your movie. I believe great stories can help your movies with. Great stories, I believe, can help your movies can perhaps help you with your the legs of your movie. But spectacle at the end of the day is what puts butts in the seats, man. As you look at a lot of great movies that come out over the past couple of years, a lot of them flop, a lot of them lose money. And all the big spectacle movies are the ones who are making money. Why? Because spectacle sells tickets. Hence why all the Marvel movies, the DC movies, some of them are doing $1 billion and $800, $900 because those are the movies that sell tickets. And the smaller stories, the great telling stories, those movies lose money and they break even or they make very little profit. Because spectacle is what sells tickets. Hence why Avatar really, really connects with the audience. Because it's a simple, beautiful story with a beautiful world that everyone loves and enjoys when they see it on the big screen. And that's what puts butts in the seats. There. And if Avatar does make $2 billion, it was obviously a massive hit. It made profit, obviously. It made a lot of profit. As the movie does not need to do $2 billion to break even, James Cameron was obviously, he just threw a random number out there. He's being deceptive. He knew full well what he was saying. He knew the movie only had to do like $1.2 billion to break even. He just set the bar high. That way more fans see his movie. And they think it's a very expensive movie. If I say the movie needs to do $2 billion to break even, fans will think my movie is super expensive and more people will watch it. Smart marketing move, obviously. He was being a bit deceptive, obviously. I think he knew full well what he was saying. I don't think he meant the master like John says. John's wrong. The movie has to do more than 800, 900 million to break even. Don't hate me, John, I'm saying. I don't think he meant the whole thing as a series like Rob. So I think James Cameron was being a bit deceptive. He set the bar high at $2 billion to break even. That way more fans see his movie. Because if you set the bar at $2 billion, fans will think it's a super... He made the movie for like $1 billion plus. And yet more people are going to be, wow, I want to see that. And hopefully more people see his movie. When in reality, $2 billion is a very, very profitable film for Avatar 2. James Cameron's a genius. He's a fucking genius, obviously. It's a genius marketing move. Just like McDonald's, when you see all those ads online, right, on TV, the burgers look perfect. When you see the Burger King, the Burger King commercials, the burgers look pristine, you know what I'm saying? And then when you go to the McDonald's and go to Burger King, the burgers are a mess. Yeah, it's false advertising marketing, obviously. To get people to buy their product. That's what James Cameron did, obviously. Very smart, genius move, obviously, because James Cameron's a genius, obviously. And it worked. His movie's now pushing $2 billion. but it's been rebutted, obviously. As even Hollywood Reporter, they said, yeah, business analysis said it doesn't need to do $2 billion. It needs to do about 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 billion to break even. Like I said, I was right. So it's been rebutted, obviously. Some Sarah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of his Ivan's Commenting Hollywood News Show. Stay tuned tomorrow. I'll make another very interesting Ivan's Listening series video. Or I might do another Hollywood News Show video. We'll see what happens. So I'm signing up. Peace.